So,
Apparently,
what we all on this evening?
So no, we're not on YouTube today.
Right, so where are we streaming it to?
Oh, hang on.
Seems I've just had a notification saying the Vaping Video Reviews is now live.
Yeah.
Guessing YouTube.
Yeah. Sweet. That's good. That's good. So, just waiting for Rabbit and then we can crack on. Hang on. Just turn the volume down.
Oh,
There you go. Here he is.
Here he is.
We can start now.
What's up, guys? So, you would just want to jump into it and everybody tell what they're vaping on tonight?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with Zippy and just run down the line.
Sound? Well, tonight I'm still on the Rage mod. Loving that. Got the nasty calls in that one. I haven't really set anything up tonight. I mean, I've still got there's Tyrrell's juice, and I've got some Ron People's Marketplace. This one is the watermelon hula berry lime. It's really nice. So I shall have to dig out a mod for that one. Next.
Oh, Taco.
Well, tonight I'm on Aegis X
Noise.
with Fatality.
I got one.
Some nasty coils fused in there. And some juice. I can't remember which one it is. It's in the car and I can't be bothered to get it. So I'm hoping that last little bit in there will do me. I doubt it because this thing is very thirsty.
You've only got one bottle of juice. You got none in the house.
Yeah, but it's in the other room.
It's easier than running to the car, then, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
That's just lazy.
It is really, really lazy. I will probably go and get another mod in a sec anyway, but I just want
I would
to do
think
this.
so.
It's pretty damn cool.
Fair play.
Yeah. Josh, what are you vaping on tonight, mate?
Literally what I've had in my hands pretty much solidly forever. Black Siege.
What's going on? All right, brother.
Flips 25, USA anodized one. The King's Creams lemon cream.
I do like that Siege, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Black Siege is great. So, I mean, it's battered because I dropped it the second day I had it. And
What's new?
lost a few drops of it, but it still fires and it still works. So, all good.
Evening, Tracy Hagan.
Hello, Denise. Me, I'm on Dopfo still, enjoying this little thing. I'm on Ginger Juicy Scotch, which I got from the expo. Fancy the change. On the Hammer, and I'm still on the blended. I'm really enjoying this stuff.
Fair play.
My turn?
Yep.
Your turn, man.
Rocking my Arcless with the QP Designs Cali V2 and a Half Moon stubby tip. And dripping some of that Angry Bears Teddy Grahams dipped in vanilla icing.
Nice.
Freaking phenomenal. So, guys, what are we going to chat about tonight?
Well, first topic, I think has to go to stuff that we're seeing pretty much within the last couple of hours about this potential that vape shops in the US could be exempt from this flavour ban.
Yes. Oh, shit.
Hopefully that's good news. And I mean,
That sounds really good news. And serve a customer quickly.
so Rabbit's actually doing the live from the shop, so he's serving in between. So you have to excuse him. Yeah. Or is that just us making excuses for his weak bladder?
What are you drinking tonight, then, Josh? I saw you had some beer in your hand.
Only IPA.
IPA.
I'm not a fan of IPA.
I don't always drink, but it's been a long, fun day with the kids. So, you know.
The kids turning you to drink.
No, the drink turned me to kids.
I was going to say, how old's he?
Oh, my little boy's 1 and my little girl's 4.5. She's been at school most of the day, so that's not too bad. But
Pretty much the same as ours, then.
yeah, she's been fun since she's been home.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping tonight she stays in bed.
Like Sunday.
Normally, hang on, how's it go? Normally the bottom left one gets interrupted
Yeah.
with the
That's
kids.
me. Is that me?
Yep.
Right, my wife's downstairs. She can deal with them.
Mate, mine might as well have done the live with me on Sunday.
Yeah.
She spent more time out here than I did in there.
My house is just full of a bug at the moment. My daughter's not very well. She's been throwing up left, right, and bloody centre. Now the wife's caught it.
Nice. And on that note, right, back to this potential vape shop exemption flavour ban. Hopefully that's a massive sort of U-turn, and you know, it means that some of these stores that have recently closed, you know, hopefully they'll get the chance to reopen. You know, hopefully they've still got stuff that they can start up again with.
Massive fingers crossed, man.
It'll be
interesting to see what Robert makes of it. So, you know, him being over there, and is it just something they're saying to try and make people a bit hopeful, or?
I mean, I'm really hoping it's not a diversion tactic for this rally, man, where people sort of sit back, read it, and think, oh well, you know, maybe we ain't got to go. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that it's not one of them tactics and people still go, people still show up to the rally on the 9th. You know what I mean? It's, we all know the world of politics. Sunday. Well, we all know the world of politics can be corrupt, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's been proven over there more times than one just recently.
Yeah.
You know, I just hope it's not another Floyd.
Just want one small victory to kind of detract from the larger battle.
Yeah.
You know, if they're throwing this out there now, saying, vape stores can only service adults, great. That's actually what the stores want. You know, we only want adults in there, you know. But then if they're throwing that out there to kind of get everyone to back off a little bit and then hit them with something else, you know, you can't let them do that.
No,
so that's
the thing.
Critical.
I just hope there's not another sting in the tail, man.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, fingers crossed it is good news and they're not just going to piss about.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they actually do the right thing and actually stick up for the adult vape shop. Hopefully.
No, that's it. Rabbit was just saying, you know, with regards to this flavour ban exemption for vape shops, we're hoping that it's not just another diversion tactic to sort of get people to rest on the laurels a bit and think maybe, you know, on the 9th we haven't got to go, maybe it's not that bad. You know, I just hope that people still show up and people still, you know, get out there and make themselves known.
Well, yeah, that's what kind of like what me and you were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
I feel like they've done this. They've done this quite a few times in the past 4 years. I think people forget that we've been fighting this for a lot longer than a couple months. They do this. They do this quite a bit. They'll come in and say they'll leak a little bit of positive information, and everybody's flooding Facebook and Instagram, and you know it's looking good, guys. It's super positive, and then usually it's followed up by something tragic. So I've learned to kind of be very hesitant on positive news. I want to make sure that we keep fighting until there isn't a fight left. So we can't just get complacent because we've seen a little bit of positive news. We need to stay on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying, hopefully, you know, some of these shops that have considered closing and stuff like that, hopefully that means, you know, they can actually get back into business, and hopefully they've still got stock to sell up with and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes. I feel like they've done a shit ton of damage, but I don't feel like it's unfixable.
No,
I just don't think that the industry is going to be the same as it was, last year or the year before. I feel like there's going to be a big difference, but I feel like we can rebuild it. I don't feel like it's a death to the industry.
no. I was going to say, at the moment, the damage to sort of what's been done up to now it's not irreversible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is some hope that can all be put back. If anything, I'm hoping if it does pan out, the way that they're saying, I'm hoping that it teaches, the industry as a whole, the days of drama are behind, because at the end of the day, there may be this victory in there and this, that, and the other. But as you've just said, is it going to be another sting in the tail? There's something else on the horizon, in the next 12 months. Hopefully it's an eye-opener for a lot of people that this industry has to come together.
Yes. Yeah. We've got to stop infighting no matter what.
Yeah. There's a lot of changes got to be made.
Yeah. Like big time. Like all the fighting over teams and fucking companies you rep and juices you vape is stupid. Like it's got to stop. There's no point in it. Like I like a lot of I've been in this industry a long time, and recently I've talked to a bunch of buddies of mine that have also been in this industry a long time, and the majority of them tend to say the same thing. Like we got to get away from this kind of gang mentality when it comes to vape teams. It's okay to represent the companies that you love and you respect and that you want to push, that you want to help build a brand. But we've got to get away from this, if you don't vape my company, then you're a piece of shit. Like that stuff's got to stop. Like we all have different preferences. We all like to vape different stuff. That's what's so great about vaping is that there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
You got to get away from this. Mine's better than yours, or my juice is better than yours, or my mod's better. Like that stuff's got to stop. All it does is cause division, and our industry is built on community. We can't keep preaching community if we're divided on stupid stuff like what products you're using. That's just ridiculous.
Well, that's what I was saying the last time. A lot of these teams out there need to be practicing what they preach. I see a lot of teams. This is a separate sort of what's it, but I see a lot of teams preaching advocacy and then doing absolutely nothing. And that kind of, it's been an eye opener for me. It has been an eye opener, and it's made me question my own sort of, dealings and stuff like that. And it's, it's as I say, it's a bit of an eye opener, man.
Well, Zippy, you know how big I was like when it came to pushing stuff. Like I would go nonstop, like all the time, every day. And you noticed in the past 3 months, I stepped back a bit. And honestly, I think it has a lot to do with that. It's just, I feel like we're focused on the wrong things, and it's basically their, how do I say this? We're basically killing ourselves for them. Like they don't have to kill our industry, because if we're fighting each other, all they got to do is sit around and wait. If they wait long enough, we'll just knock each other out, and they won't have to worry about it. And that's not going to win. Like the only way we're going to defeat this is if we all stand up together, like as a unity.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. It's
a personal thing. I mean, one person saying, "Oh, this is better than the other." Well, that's a personal thing because everybody's work completely different. So that kind of argument is just stupid, personally. I mean, what tastes really nice to me could taste absolutely horrible to the rest of you guys.
Yep. And usually does.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, my experience with some brands is when it comes to brands, there's always one that considers itself better than the other. And, I mean, for me, there's teams that I belong to, there's brands that I rep, but I genuinely love them products and I enjoy taking pictures of them. And that's what it's about to me, you know what I mean? I enjoy my photography side of it. But I mean, I haven't done any for, as I say, a couple of months. And, you know, I do. Part of me is missing taking them pictures again.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of them. It's taught me a few lessons, all this has. It has taught me a few lessons.
It's shown to me how fragile this industry can be into big money. I mean, the amount of people. I mean, how many was it? 20 million or 20 million life years could be saved if everybody stopped smoking. It's like,
Yeah.
And that's just America alone. That's not worldwide. That's a lot of life saved just if people switched. And then you see big pharmaceuticals and big tobacco trying to, you know, get the customers back because they want the money. It shows how little those industries care for.
There's no value on life, man. There is no value on life.
Not with them, no.
No. And that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, the value on life. The value on life, unfortunately, in the States is obviously companies taking money. You know, big pharma taking money. You know, insurance. So it's just.
I mean, how do you feel about it, Rabbit? I mean, obviously, you know, it affects you more that side than it does us, obviously, because I mean, your public health service and everything's completely differently set up to ours.
Well, my wife just sent me a message that says the White House has a live feed up right now, so I was trying to find that and see if I can see what's going on right this second. I'm not sure what's going on.
We need to find that.
Oh, yeah. Was there any mention of where it was?
The White House has a live feed up, so I'm trying to see what's going on.
I'll see if it's on Twitter. If I can find Twitter. Shows how much I use it. I think I don't use it often.
Yeah, I mean, I've started using Twitter a lot more since all of this. I mean, I think it's one of the best platforms to try and get something out there, you know, but still can't use it properly.
Oh, she says no one's speaking or anything right now. They just have a live feed going. So maybe it's
there's a live stream starting soon. President Trump delivers remarks on federal judicial confirmation milestones.
Yeah, I've just seen one that was tweeted 42 minutes ago. Happening soon. President real Donald Trump will deliver remarks on federal judicial confirmation milestones. Watch live at 3 p.m. ET. And then the link. So,
did you see that? Did you see today the China officially shut down online sales of vaping?
Yes,
no.
I've seen something about it over the weekend. A few little snippets in the press and stuff like that. But you know, it's internal sales, though, isn't it? It's not. They can still do outward sales. They just can't do internal.
I think it's just retail vaping sales. I think you can still do the wholesale orders out of China. I think, but I need to do more research on that because
I believe it's internal sales. So they've still got the export and everything.
I do want to say something to the viewers while we've got them on here. There is something going on right now. Mike Runch posted a video. They're going to be doing it's kind of a documentary type thing, and they just want it's basically to tell how flavors saved adult lives. So they're going to be pulling little video clips from people all over the world. They said they want as many as possible. I'm going to put the hashtag up now. And I shared the video on the league's page. If y'all want to go to the league's page and watch the video, it explains what they're doing. Basically, it's just a 15-second video explaining how vaping flavored e-liquid helped change your life. And They want you to post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all social medias, and just make sure to use the hashtag 15sec4vape. So it's basically hashtag 15 seconds for vape. It's a 15-second video. And if you get a chance, just do it. Make sure to use that hashtag so they can find it. And they just want to try to get more and more input from vapers all over the globe about how vaping flavors save their lives.
I like that idea, man.
So y'all, if you need to find the video explaining, you just go check out the league's Facebook page, and I have the video shared right now.
Yeah. I see your good lady shared a post last night, Rabbit. It was the gentleman, the lawyer, whatever you want to call him, with regards to what's happening with regards to cases, and there was a little bit in there about supporting and obviously where this money goes and stuff like that that's been donated.
Oh yeah.
I was watching that last night.
You talking about the one with Jared Navarre, the attorney?
That's the one.
For the
That's the one.
I'll share.
I couldn't remember his name.
I'll share that right now to the league page so everybody can check it out.
I was going to say that was quite informative as to, you know, why the donations are important and, you know, where that money goes, what that money's funding. You know, I believe he's going to do an updated list of people who have donated against it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like the fact that they're explaining, you know, where it's going to, because that's super important. Yeah. People should see that.
Yeah,
definitely, man.
Yeah, what their money's going towards, 100%.
Because I can understand people wondering when you're donating money, you want to know where it's going to. So yeah. I think releasing that video was smart. Hey, what's up, Luke? I see you, buddy.
It's also surprising. I mean, when he was going into detail last night, obviously, you know, this isn't just your average, you know, court case. This is actually taking the government to court and stuff like that. You know, with regards to invasion of constitutional rights and stuff like that. And how fucking expensive that's gonna be. It's scary money, man.
Same, mate.
They're doing it pro bono as well, so it's not like they're wanting a piece of the pie, you know, to fix this. They are doing it because they know it's wrong. You know, they want to fix that. You know, so they're genuinely trying to help the situation. It's great to see, especially from lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, Josh, you haven't been on the show before, and obviously, you know, a lot of people, some people do know you, some don't. What's your feelings?
Well, what, the situation in general?
Yeah, what's your take on it? I mean, over the last couple of weeks, I mean, we've all sort of touched on it and we've sort of voiced all our opinions and stuff. But obviously, you know, this is your first time, you know, joining us on here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to get another opinion as to the way things are and the way things are seen.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that it's kind of them pushing vaping out, not because they think it's harmful, and not really because of the underage usage. I think they're using them kind of as an excuse to probably try and push a much bigger taxation on it over there, and that's what I believe they want. Again, they want their piece of the pie because they're not making the money from obviously the MSA, and they need to make that money somehow. You know, so many in their payments. So that's kind of my view on it. But there's lots of different reasons. It's very difficult to tell of what's going on because there's so much information and lots of conflicting information from both sides as well. You know, not just from their side. You know, some people on our side are saying different things, and some people on the other side. It's all over the place. It's very difficult to make hide nor hair of, really. But that's my sort of thought on it. I mean, I think they want money, and I believe the industry should just go. You know, I've seen a few people as well, like a few people in the industry coming up going, "Oh, we don't want to pay this, we don't want to pay that," and it's like, do you know what? Just if they want it, just kind of don't argue it and just kind of do it a bit, and give a little bit. And I know it's difficult, isn't it? Give a little bit, they're going to want more. I kind of get that, but it's a really difficult standpoint from both sides, because, like I said, there's so much information. For one thing,
I think there's got to be give or take on it. You know, I mean, we pay what is it? We pay over here 20%.
Yeah, and it's just standard. You know, we're used to it. It's on. It's not just vapor products. It's on everything. So it's you know, I work in an industry where it's same in not a vape. I don't work in the vape industry. I work in a different industry, but you know, lots of companies in the industry that I work in try not to pay their tax. My boss quite famously gets audited pretty much every year because they think he's up to something. He never is. You know, he's honest. He pays his tax. You know, he's even got a company called Tax Watch, and they're actually pointing tax fraudsters out nowadays. So, you know, it's I think that's what it's for. Them losing money, them wanting more money. I mean, that's the obvious thing. They haven't actually said that. You know, that's one of the only things they haven't said is because obviously if they say that, then it's almost an automatic loss for them, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the other way, you know, I seriously believe that they still want their products, their own products out there. They want, you know, they can get rid of vaping, take everything off the market, and all they'll do is infiltrate it with their own.
Yeah, you know, they're already pushing. Is it IQOS? You know, and
IQOS, the Hail, I think it was called.
You know, which have already been tested and proven to be bad.
One of my co-workers today, I actually saw them using one of those IQOS devices.
Good.
And I said to her, says, you know, why are you using that as opposed to one of these? And she just went, it was cheaper. Like, okay, but you know that has more things in it which can be harmful. She went, yeah. I went, all right, okay. That's your choice. You know, fine if you want to use that. I'm going to enjoy my, you know, blue raspberry candy over here.
But you know, you can only try and educate so much. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's one of them. There are times that, you know, some you win, some you lose, and if you are losing one, just thank them for the opinion and move on, man. You know what I mean? You can't.
With her as well, I actually know she used to be a very heavy smoker, and she says she's cut right down using this thing. So has it helped her? Maybe. You know, everybody has something different in mind, you know.
Yeah.
But then when I went and spoke to her about why did she want that as opposed to, you know, a vape or something, you know, like I use, she just basically said, it just doesn't interest me. You know, fine. You know what I mean? That's personal choice. But then, you know, it's just, she then mentioned to me about, well, vapes kill people. I'm like, no, they don't.
No.
So I know, Josh, you've had this argument with somebody before as well, haven't you? You know, so I went through the whole thing with
it. It was me educating, and a lot of people ended up getting involved in that. That Facebook thread went on for about 4 days. And it was someone, and Paul saw it, and it was I mean, the guy was just
looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Good point there from Ian Nelson, Nasty Calls. This is why big companies have no business in politics. Once the companies ain't getting their own way, they start pulling strings. Yeah, it is. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's... Alex Birds, I'm watching the live stream now. The US wants to attack flavors, but the funny is people who smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes taste like crap, but they still smoke. In what way does he want to attack flavors? It's a bit... We know that he's trying to ban them, but it's...
They haven't said anything on the live feed yet. My wife's watching it right now, so she's going to keep me updated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, cigarettes kill 500,000 people a year alone in the U.S.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
I mean, the facts are simple.
Right there in front of you.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I'm sure we've all smoked. We're all ex-smokers. We've probably all lost somebody to smoking as well. If not more than one. And so it's if I can change anyone's opinion on it, I will. That's it. I don't want people that I know or even don't know, to get ill from smoking. So,
right.
So if I can make somebody else switch to vaping, perfect. But flavors isn't an integral part of that. They need to be
Alex
safe.
Birds just says there it's not the flavors which is the problem. They're not addicted to the flavors. They're addicted to the nicotine. That's one point I would pull across. Yeah, and we have touched on that a few times and says 50 milligram nic salt, in pods and shit like that. Is there really any need for that?
I mean,
lower some of the nicotines and stuff like that, but vape's designed in a way that, you start on one nicotine and you come down. I mean, the amount of people that I know that have come down to 0 nic and then a couple of months later have jacked in vaping altogether, you know what I mean? So, yes, there's one argument for nicotine, but then, you get nicotine in a lot of products these days.
Yeah, it's in pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just the nicotine, is it?
Say again.
It's not just the nicotine either, is it? It's people get addicted to the other chemicals that are in cigarettes as well. It's you can get addicted to pretty much anything, and you miss those. Yeah. Nicotine's obviously the main ingredient. So.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, as Paul just says, nicotine's in quite a lot of products these days, not just vape and cigarettes. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, there should be regulation on the nicotine. We all understand that, and none of us have ever turned around and said it's right that a 50 milligram nicotine should be sold. You know what I mean? Over here, the limit is 20 milligram. It is 50 over there, isn't it, Rabbit?
Yeah, some of the higher ones are around 50, 48, 50.
No,
that's too much.
I think I've heard of a 65 milligram nic salt.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
I was going to comment on what Tracy said. Tracy, that's the funny part. So an article popped up today where they did some actual release of the study, and it shows that they actually were contradictory when they posted that the majority of the percentage of the kids that are vaping are not even vaping nicotine, and the ones that are like blatantly stated that the only reason they vape is because it gives them a head rush. They didn't mention anything about flavors.
Wow.
The problem is that the government's going to twist it any way they can to make their agenda known. It's crazy, man. It really is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what she says there. Teenagers around here vape 0 nic. So they're doing it because they think it looks cool. And yeah, I mean, 4 years ago, one of the things that I said was, the potential. I mean, I'd got friends that had never smoked, and they took up vaping. And for me, the biggest worry was that vaping was going to be seen as the next social trend, if you know what I mean. And that worried me back then. People were saying, oh no, it's this. I've seen people say, is it a lifestyle? Is it a habit? No, it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to nail it down to a lifestyle. It's not. You know what I mean? It's a choice.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I would say it is kind of a lifestyle. We all choose, but we all do choose it as a lifestyle. Like, it's not like it's not like we're trying to make it look cool so other people get involved. Like, it's just something that saved our lives, and we decided we wanted to pursue it more. That's I don't know, man.
I mean, the likes of us, we're hobbyists.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. If you wanted a term for it, I don't know how many of you would agree with that.
Yeah, I'd pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I like different setups. I like, you know, to me, it's not just about it's not just about the flavors and the juice. It's deeper than that.
Yeah, great.
People I meet along the way. That's what I've met.
Yeah, but I don't vape because you four vape.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? And that you know, I mean, how many people have been to the pub, you know, and a smoker goes outside, and it's like, you know, you've either got to go with them as a non-smoker, or, you know, all the smokers go together, and there's always one person that's left inside on the Todd.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we've all seen that, but that's where I saw a lot of people taking up vaping to go outside and vape. They'd never smoked, and it was like, yeah, but, you know, it's a lot better. I don't stink afterwards. You know, I'm not standing there with us, and they accepted it. But, you know, like I said, it was one worry with me back then that it was going to be seen as the next social trend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't agree with people taking up vaping if they don't smoke. You know, you've never smoked and you don't smoke. Just don't start it. Simple as that. It's not.
I love Tracy's comment there. It's all free. I made a choice which become a habit, which thanks to you guys is now becoming a lifestyle.
You're welcome.
I like that.
A leaguer at heart.
Yep.
Yeah. And Alex Bird made a good point. I stopped smoking so I could be around longer for my kids when I have them. Fair play, man.
Hi, Alex. I know Alex.
Well, I started vaping when I found out my wife was pregnant with my first child. So that's when I decided to give up smoking. And I did go cold turkey for a bit. And I just found myself dipping. You know, I couldn't handle it on nights out. And then one became a pack, and pack became smoking again every day. And then I was like, well, that's it. I can't have that. So went to see my friend who works in a vape shop, and he sorted me out, and it just went from there, you know. So that was that. So yeah, see, I did it for my kids and my family, really.
No, fair play, man. Louis Pina's made a good point. So if one of the big problems is underage vaping, the problem is not the product, but the problem is parents. Yes, in a lot of respects.
100%.
In a lot of respects, but I will never back that the parents shouldn't be doing something about it. But how many of us went behind our parents' back and kept something hidden?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I also believe that, like Lewis said right there, when I was a kid and I did something that was wrong or illegal, I got punished for it. There was consequences. And nowadays, it's almost like there's not consequences for these kids. We're using them as something to push an agenda. It's like,
but should the consequences be to the parents? I mean, over here, you skip school, the parents get a fine, or they can end up in court. You know, the police have no problem in coming around, dragging these kids back, and, you know, stuff like that are out there shoplifting and stuff like that. You know, I mean, over there, smoking and stuff like that underage, is that not classed as a felony?
Well, it's a fine line with the felonies and the misdemeanors, but I believe that if a kid's caught for the first time, then there should be a punishment for the child. Whether if it's at school, then they should be suspended from school, or something made a point. And if they're caught again, then it goes to the parents, maybe a fine. Maybe the kid is suspended for a longer period of time. Yeah. And if it's the third time, then in my opinion, the kid's out of school. Like you get two chances. if you can't straighten your shit out and do what you're supposed to do, then you shouldn't be there. But don't come after the adults, the law-abiding adults that are trying to use it as a healthier lifestyle, or safer lifestyle, something better for themselves, because your kids are sneaking around using it. Like,
so I agree with what you're saying there with regards to the outcome of it, but I also disagree with one point, and that's by, you know, suspending kids and then expelling kids. Is that not moving the issue on? It's not dealing with the issue.
Well, yeah,
and that's one thing I've always said about over here. We do that a lot. We move the issue along. We never really address and deal with the issue. And I think that's where the focus needs to be, and that's what the concentration needs to be on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, each step would have to have an educational process. Those are just basically punishments for crimes, like punishment fit the crime. But each step should obviously have an educational process. Everyone needs to be educated on what's going on, why they're doing it, why they're not supposed to be doing it, things like that. But you can't expect the government to step in and parent these children, especially when it's going to put the lives and the health of so many million adults at risk. Because these kids are sneaking stuff. Like, that's insanity.
But is that not the government? I mean, the one thing I will say is the figures that have been quoted, they're not necessarily true, and a lot of them are made up to some extent, are they not? That we found out just recently.
We found out that a lot of them were doctored, yes. The numbers are not exact.
Why doesn't that surprise?
You know what I mean? But, you know, is it, I mean, over here, I look at our government and I think that with the laws that they passed with human rights and stuff like that, I think it's the way it is to me is it's our government deflecting blame for their failings, because it's the government that have failed these kids at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know, to all intents and purposes, by, you know, building, as, you know, I think it was Nasty Call said, this snowflake mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I honestly think, you know, if we get the outcome that we do want with regards to the vaping, you know, I just think the snowflake mentality will just go after the next thing.
Oh, yeah, of course it will. Well, my opinion is, regardless, if like, say everything, let's just say, for instance, that everything goes great and they end up saying, we're just going to take it out of convenience stores. We're going to make it harder for kids to get to it. We're going to focus, you know, letting vape shops carry the products so they can ID people. We're going to set up stings to catch vape shops that are not doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Say all that happens and things are going good and we can get back on track to rebuilding our industry. I still believe, even after all of that, we still need to keep a strong focus on education. We need to keep a strong focus on educating everybody. The parents can't educate their children if they're not educated on the matter.
No.
Like every single person had, like, I mean, I'm talking about, like, there should be more ways of reaching out to people to actually get education on these products and what they do and what's going on with them and how they help people and stuff like that. We can't just expect people to know, because we see where that gets us. I mean, look at where we're at right now, because we just assume that, hey, we know they make us feel better, that we know that we're safer by vaping instead of smoking. Yeah. But we just assume that everyone else knew that, and they don't. You can see it with these news broadcasts and these politicians speaking that they don't know shit about vaping. Like, they seriously think that Juuls and e-cigarettes are the same thing as vaping. But I'm sorry, that's not the case. I don't use a Juul and I don't use a cigarette. I use a vape. I am a vapor. I'm not a Juuler. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, we need more education on the fact, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think education right now is absolute key. It's just as important as the advocacy. You know, you've got to reach out to these people, and, you know, sort of, you've got to start from the basics, man. We need to go back to where we were, you know, 6 or 7 years ago, because, I mean, I've been around the vape scene now for about 4.5 years, and it's got ugly, man. It's one of them. It's, as you say, with the divide and everything else, it's, groups and other stuff like that. I mean, I'm seeing, since all this Facebook crap kicked off, I'm seeing little pockets springing up now, and some of these groups where, they were boasting big numbers, but it was like, you get 6 posts a day and it's all admin. I'm seeing these groups now coming alive again, and, little pockets of positivity coming through the groups. They are getting active. There are members that are actually talking, and it's like, all it's basically done is took the spamming of groups and the sales out of groups, which, everyone thought it was going to be a bad thing. I think it's been a lot better.
I do like the way it's gone. I mean, there was one point I could never see anything from any of my personal friends on my personal list for sales, and people buy this, get this. Oh, this is has anyone got this? No. What it wasn't. It started to feel like the industry had become like one big giant buy my shit. Every group it was
not being funny. I mean, it's been long fucking overdue. I mean, people are using these businesses that have been spamming groups for 4 years. People know where to get the shit, man. If they're loyal to the company and this, that, and the other, they'll buy it all day long.
Yes.
I don't need half a dozen posts of the same crap ramming down my fucking newsfeed. So for me, it's been a great thing.
Yep.
Like I said at the beginning, there's life outside. There's actually life outside on fucking Facebook now.
Big time.
Alex Birds, what America needs to do is to do the proper research at the English Health Organisation. Took time and did the research. America hasn't done any of that, and that's what annoys me. Yes and no, they've got the World Health Organisation and this, that, and the other. But the problem is,
I've been listening.
We're taking a lot of time putting a lot of stuff out from the UK over to, the likes of Rabbit and people that we know that will take it to people that will listen, and they're using it for fact. And, that's not something that Rabbit's done for the last 5 minutes. You've been doing that for how long?
Long time, 4 years or more.
You know what I mean? So the information's been there. The problem is that I see, I mean, Rabbit, you might say otherwise, but America likes to do its own thing.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's they're not interested. I'll say it without trying to sound too funny. They're not interested in anyone else's opinion unless they've got the evidence for it. They don't want it.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, I'm an American, and I can say this: it's basically what the country was built on. Like, it was flat out built on them saying, I don't want to rule. I don't want to be under anyone else's rule. So we're going to start our own country. Like, that's exactly what happened. So it's all it has been is over the past hundreds of years is growth of that concept that, okay, well, the UK 20 years ago said that, or 20 years before the United States said that cigarettes cause cancer and they have chemicals in them that cause cancer. But no one over here listened. Everyone over here kept doing their thing and pushing tobacco products. And now we know for a fact that tobacco products kill people. But it took American health physicians, 20 years to come to the conclusion that the UK was right. So what's going to happen when the UK's been, saying it for 10 years now that vaping is 95% safer than combustible tobacco, but yet Americans are still, well, we don't know enough about it. There's not enough research. Well, we don't know. I mean, what the fuck else more do you need? Like, the United College of Physicians has literally released studies to the public. Like, I actually have the studies myself on my computer. Like, if I can get a hold of them and you're telling me that you can't get a hold, like, that doesn't make any sense. The problem is, Alex, it all boils down to corruption, greed, and money. They know that vaping is not bad. They know that vaping's not killing anybody. They know that vaping is not causing deaths or it's not an epidemic. All of this is a ploy to help destroy an industry that they know will become a problem for big tobacco, which is the main source of this country's money and has been for over 100 years. And a lot of people watching this don't want to hear that shit, but that's the fucking truth. Tobacco has been the #1 export for the United States for over 100 years. Look it up. I've done my research, and I'm telling you that every single topic that we've talked about in the 3 months means nothing over the money. This all boils down to the simple fact that they are afraid vaping is going to take over. And I mean, think about it. We've already posted up 20 million lives saved in 10 years if everyone switched to vaping. You know what that means? That means profits for big tobacco drop 75% in 10 years. Yeah. They know it's coming. So they're going to.
And let's not forget the farmer side of money of that.
Yeah. Like it's crazy, man. It's sad to see. It's sad to see that the big mighty dollar is way more important than an American life. Like, that's sad to see. Or a human life, period. Like, they don't give a shit what country you're from. Like, if they can make money off of your life, that's what counts. They don't give a fuck where you're from. Like, they don't.
No.
This all boils down to greedy ass old motherfuckers that want to line their pockets. And that's the truth.
Yeah. Cotton candy collection, Ben, I seen you pop up earlier. Saying about the situation in America makes him sick. Yeah. Can't deny that. You know, I mean, this past week I've seen personal friends actually close their shops. You know, it's a fucking gut wrencher, you know, with brands that I know that have helped numerous people, you know what I mean? Not just
smokers.
Yep. You know, and that's not just vapers, that's smokers, you know, families of smokers and everything else. And I've seen, you know, I know these people have put stuff back into the community with, you know, some of the profits that they've made from their companies. You know, they've donated back into the community. And, you know, I know of one that have helped build schools and churches, you know, which is something that people don't hear of. You know, they just, you know, they buy the product. That's it. They don't look into the brand or anything like that. But some of these brands are doing that. You know, in these less fortunate areas, we're not doing that over here. And fucking knows we need some of it. You know what I mean? It's, you know, because we pay tax in a different way. But, you know, I mean, it's one of them. There is a glimmer of hope today. I don't know if you've seen it. Again, I'm talking to Cotton Candy Collection Ben there. With regards to the possible vape flavour vape exemption. Hopefully that's some good news. So while it's only a glimmer of hope, it's still a bit of hope. You know what I mean? And we can only focus on that and hope that that is true.
I shared that to the group too.
Yeah. Tracy Hagen, Florida Vapor Supply, sent an email out today saying that they were closing. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they did.
Just the distro side of it. So
yeah, apparently it's not going to affect Immortal or Armageddon. It's just a distro.
No. Yeah.
No, from what I've heard, it's just the distro side of it.
No, that's it.
And again,
but that's what
this
I've heard
isn't
as well.
a small little company. You know, that's a big distro.
Yeah. Cotton Candy Ben, but we also have to think we are going in the right direction. Yeah, we certainly are. You know, there needs to be more of us going in that direction. You know, there needs to be a lot more. I mean, you know, we need to stop highlighting, you know, and trying to justify our own arguments, you know, by looking at tobacco, looking at, you know, drinks, for instance, alcohol, you know, fucking bubblegum flavour sweets. We need to stop all that and just concentrate on what we need to concentrate on, and that is educating people and bringing people together to sort of fight all this, you know. I mean, you put there, take for instance, Formula One. I'm assuming you mean banning the tobacco sponsorships and stuff.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. I mean, not to take away from the main important subject, which is obviously America. I mean, we've seen today here in the UK, we're going to start having little vape shops inside hospitals.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually see what some of our viewers actually think of that. I mean, I will say now, when I first saw it, my first thought went straight to, I hope it's not just solid, like big tobacco-owned vapes, pod systems, and so on in there.
Yeah, but we can't say that. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they stock, as long as they're helping people quit and stuff like that. Which, let's face it, a lot of smokers end up in hospital and they're not allowed to have a fag. But you know, if they've got the opportunity to buy something from a vape shop in there, that's going to allow them to, you know, potentially switch the habit. You know, the whole thing of, you know, should we support it if it's a tobacco-owned pod? Not necessarily, but it's there. It's an option, and it's one that we've got to accept.
Yeah,
you know,
as I said, like it was one of them things.
The stepping stone that they need to then go to the local store once they're out of hospital.
Yeah.
Get something different onto another setup, and then find something a bit better for them.
I mean, let's face it. I mean,
I'm not one opposed to.
Well, put it this way. You know, not being funny, we know there's brands of liquid out there that are in some ways funded with tobacco money.
Yeah.
You know, and some of these brands are quite popular and people are using them. They're repping the arse out of them. You know, are they going to, if their opinion is, well, I'm not going to support tobacco, are they going to stop supporting that brand? I don't think so. We've got to accept that tobacco are going to play a part in it. We're looking at going smoke-free by 2030. Where do you think their money's going to go?
That's true.
They've got to invest in something.
I mean,
you know, which is the other reason why we don't have the issue that America's got.
Still need to be vigilant, though.
What we don't know is...
But what do you mean by vigilant? What's vigilant going to do for us?
We don't really want to have any issues where we could end up looking at losing the vape industry, the vape community. We don't want to jeopardize that here in the UK. I mean, we've got it very good. I mean,
but it's going to come. It's going to come. We're going to have more and more tobacco money piling into vape, because at the end of the day, it's one of the what we rank as one of the best alternatives, one of the best options. So we've got to accept it. There's nothing to be vigilant about. It's already happening. You know what I mean?
I reckon there's a few guys on the show that disagree with that.
Hey?
Nothing's all right.
Hey, we can't have him upstaging it. Sorry, you got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's you know, we don't have to support it. We don't have to support the brand that they represent, but people are gonna.
Yeah,
we've got to face up to the fact that they are part of this industry and they are going to infiltrate it a lot more. How we deal with that is down to us. But to
and
turn
not just
around,
that, we don't know what big tobacco will do with vaping if they get their hands into it. They could turn around and say, right, we're going to make something similar to this. This is what we're going to do, and follow suit with what we do now in the vape industry. You know, we don't know what they're going to do. And that's as simple as that. If they turn around and say, yeah, we're going to make our own line of juice, our own line of pods, which are going to be in line with.
Well, they're already doing it. They're already doing it.
Subvertedly, if they kind of came out and this is what we're doing. You know, it's going to be like vape. it is a vape.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know,
We don't know.
we've
But things
got
like
to
these
take it as it comes.
Kales and all this kind of nonsense. That's not giving people an alternative for a better lifestyle choice, you know, or a healthier
No.
alternative. That's the same thing in a different wrapper.
Yeah.
They're not making any changes. And they have to think that. They have to change with the people.
As long as they
nasty
fight
calls,
like,
exactly. You put him on mute or something?
Who, me?
No.
Paul. I thought Rabbit might have put Paul on mute.
No.
he just stopped. I seen his lips moving between that big hairy beard, and it was like I couldn't see anything else.
Oh, your sound keeps dropping off.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Cotton
Denise has
candy,
just put on
nasty
there
coils.
about, yeah, Denise has just mentioned in the comments on Facebook about you didn't even address vaping. I suppose it can be a good thing if he's not saying anything, but
Thanks.
you know,
I mean, no news is good news, especially right now.
potentially.
The thing is, I can see them playing this out. I can see them playing this out right up until this rally. Their eyes are on this rally in a big way.
Yeah.
It's
You know what I mean? It's, you know, my feeling is they're just trying to hold the fucking tactic off as long as they can.
Yeah.
Just to try and, you know, get people thinking, well, do I have to go? Do I not? And at the end of the day, the answer's simple. Yes, you do. You know, we'll be doing what we can. We'll be doing from what we can from over here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know, if you can get to DC and you can get to that rally, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
What they're hoping is a small turnout. They think that by posting what they've done today and giving this glimmer of hope that 1,000 men turn up, that's what they want. Because then they go, well, maybe it's not as big a deal to people as we thought it would be. If they turn around and find some people saying the same thing, then they're going to take notice.
Yeah.
So it has to be a big turnout. Show them exactly how it was.
Nasty coils and cotton candy. Just want to touch on them. It's right, Paul, your mic's going.
Yeah, your mic's way up and down.
Again, I can't. All I'm getting on the screen is just like that. But no, nasty coils and cotton candy. Farmer and tobacco companies will invest in vaping as it's known vaping is the way forward, 100%. And cotton candy has been in the industry for 8 years. Big tobacco would never go away. We have to accept it. Vape, even in the vape industry, totally wicked. OEM, E-Leaf, yeah. And that's the name of few. Now, not being funny, there's people who support them brands, and there's people who believe in them. And at the end of the day, providing they're vaping, while they're vaping one of them products, there's a chance that we can get them onto something better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where our focus needs to be on. We need to forget about trying to boycott fucking tobacco and this, that, and the other. It's not going to happen. There's not enough unity. There is not enough unity in this community at the minute for that to happen. You know what I mean? And, you know, Kate Cornelius there, vapers are pissed. And they're getting ready to come out in droves for this rally. And I genuinely hope that they do for you. I know that, you know, Rabbit, yourself, you know, Kate's works fucking tirelessly behind the scenes trying to, you know, get support for this and, you know, doing what she can. You know, I really hope that people do turn out in support.
If I've seen any people asking for information or help about the rally, I've either tagged you or Kate yourselves, or it's already been dealt with and people have already offered to come and pick them up.
Well, you're just saying that about people being picked up. You know, I'm seeing posts with people coming from different areas. You know, they are being shared out. You know, people are saying, you know, I've got a 10-seater vehicle. I've got 4 seats that are empty. You know, if people can meet somewhere and stuff like that. I mean, Rabbit, I don't know if you've got
I saw that
a link to anything like that. for people to do car shares, bus shares, etc.
Yeah, if you're near a big city, that almost all the big cities on the East Coast have buses coming out of them, or one near. You should be able to get a hold of your local shop that does. If they're any kind of shop like ours that actually does advocacy, that somebody in there should be able to help you find a bus that's going to DC near you.
Yeah. I believe there was a donation pool as well for where vehicles were going to be hired and potentially seats opened up to people.
Yes. And then the UVA page has a link.
Wicked. I see there.
I'm
just reading some. Oh, go on.
And he was saying that,
Cornelius. Sorry, Paul.
That's it. That's actually what I was about to say. There was somebody saying that they'd put a post on saying, right, I've got a 10-seater minibus. These are the stops I'm going to be making on my way to DC. Anybody to come in, be here at this round about this time, and I'll take you.
Yeah.
You know, no questions, no sub me some money for this or anything like that. It's like, I will take you.
Yeah, we have carpools, we have buses. I mean, everyone's kind of coming together on this, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
There's a comment there by Cotton Candy Ben again. I know a lady that has owned an RV to take people. Big up Cheryl Agro. Yeah, definitely big up to Cheryl Agro, because myself, Paul, Josh, Chris, we all had the opportunity to speak to her last weekend at Expo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, she's a fucking awesome lady. You know what I mean? The passion that she's got for the industry is well clear to see.
I want to Denise, if you see something like that, don't be afraid to jump in and comment. Like I said, you as a vapor are also representing this industry. So you are just as important as every other vapor. None of us are less important than the other. We are all on an equal playing field, and anyone who acts like they are better, put them in their place. As far as that goes, that's just ridiculous. Nobody should go into this with any negative connotation. Nobody should go into this with any negative feelings and hurting someone else or putting up a fight. There's no reason for that. If you want something positive to come out of this rally, we have to go into it with positive thought, positive reinforcement. We have to stay, we have to stay positive, man. We can't. I know y'all hate hearing me say that all the time, but it's the truth. Like, we have to. Yeah. We even believe it or not, like, our mental has a lot to do with everything around us, because every one of us put off energy. If we come to this thing with negative energy, then yes, negative things are going to happen. We need to come to this with positive energy. We need to come to this thinking that we are going to do something good, something positive. This is about history, guys. Like, we are making history here, and we need to fight and stand together, but we have to do it positively. We cannot be like, hey, I'll bust your ass if you don't like vaping. Like, that's crazy. That's the stuff we have to get away from more than anything.
Yeah, and I've said that before.
You know,
well.
You got to look at it this way, right? You got to look at it this way. It doesn't matter what you do in this life. There's a code of conduct that you have to follow.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, this rally is no different to any of that.
Kate, put up the link to where you can donate in the comments.
Wicked.
Okay. Yeah.
And also, was that Denise Stewart that made that last comment that you brought up, Rabbit, about the infighting in groups and etc. like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Denise, feel free to tag me, man, and I'll put my 2 pence worth in, and I'm sure Rabbit will do the same.
Yeah.
As will Paul and anybody else.
If you ever see anything negative like that, you can always tag us. Like, we're willing to come in there and help you straighten them out. We have to have each other's backs, man. We have to be together on this.
I love a good argument.
Yeah, always. I do want to kind of say something positive about vaping. Like, everybody in this industry right now should hold their head high, should feel amazing about what we've done in a short period of time. Like, think about 15 years ago when you heard the word vape or vapor, what you thought of. Like, we've completely redefined a word. Like, we have completely built an industry from nothing. We have completely changed technology. We have completely took something that was known to be unhealthy and not good for you, like nicotine, and changed the complete thought on the thing. Like, we've done something amazing in the time that we've been establishing in this industry, and I think everybody should hold their head up and be proud about that, because we have done something that's just flat out phenomenal, in my opinion. I'll be right back.
Oh, Vincent's in the chat.
I
Hello,
mean,
Vincent.
the thing is, for me, I mean, not being funny, that there's people that have come before us that started all this off, you know, and you know, some of those people are no longer in the industry. Some of them moved on and did other things. But you know, for me, I think we have a duty and a responsibility to keep vaping going, to keep sticking up for vaping, and trying to uphold what they started, you know, and educate the ones that are going to take up this after us.
I mean, we say we don't want people that don't vape to take on, but we also don't want people to stop. So that mentality obviously is it may do. We may all just carry on vaping forever, and then it's slowly over time as no other causes other than smoke related might carry on. Might not. We don't know.
The thing is, I mean, you know, we're not saying anybody should take it up. You know, we're not saying that, you know, it's the next best thing, because we're not. What we are saying, you know, 95.5% healthier, safer, whichever word you want to use. You know, one seen as that as not, you know, you shouldn't use one. But you know, if people want to vape, let them vape. You know,
pro-choice.
Like I says, you know, we need to focus on what we're doing now, and you know, upholding what we're meant to be doing.
Yep.
You know, that's our focus. You know, let's get this battle over, and we'll move on to the next one. You know, there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good people in the vape industry. There's a lot of good people who will be speaking at the DC rally. You know, hopefully, this, as Rabbit says, you know, this isn't just, you know, winning a court case or anything else like that. This is, you know, history in the making. You know, for what we all do, what we all love. You know what I mean? It's
also fighting for people's rights to choose.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's history. You know what I mean? It's, you know, this victory is going to go way deeper than just vaping. You know, and for me, like I says, I just hope that this bump in the road that we're facing now actually opens everybody's eyes, and you know, people do realise that yes, we have got to come together. Yes, we have got to, you know, there's unity in community. You know what I mean? There's no other way to put it. It's unity in community.
Exactly, and now's the time to show it.
Yeah, I've met some fucking good people in this, and
Chris.
You know, well, yeah, you know what I mean. It's
they always pick on me.
You have got an option. What?
Gaffer tape your gob shut. Enough gaffer tape.
I was thinking of an easier option.
Typically,
but no, you know, I mean, like I said, I've met some great people in this industry, and they're people that have taught me a hell of a lot, and still do. You know, like I said last weekend at Expo, you know, I considered myself getting schooled last week at Expo, man. You know what I mean? Patrick Murphy, Ben Villa, Ron Peoples, Cheryl Agro, you know, all good people, you know, and people that are now classed as family, you know, you guys, you know, even Chris, our resident Jim, you know, it's, I might take the piss and stuff, but you know, it gives me a purpose. You know what I mean?
I mean, this expo, as I said last week, it was so much better. I mean, I met some really nice people, some people I actually really enjoyed chatting with. They took the time to talk to me, and I took the time to, I had the time to talk to them all weekend.
Well, you didn't give them much of a fucking choice, let's face it.
Not really. When you do things, they could walk away.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got them pinned in a corner.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't.
Yeah, that Muller gallery wasn't that big.
You know what I mean? But no, you know, in all seriousness, man, I mean, fucking, you know, we love this industry, and you know, we hope it does show, you know, and we hope that we can, you know, make a difference, albeit whether it be a small one, whether it be a big one, you know, as long as we make a difference, that's all that matters.
It was so good to see him on the stage as well. Like it was a lot of advocacy on the stage, you know, so they really push it, and which is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I says the, you know, myself, you know, massive fucking hats off to the likes of Paul Harrison and stuff that organised that stage, and you know, the rest of the people involved, the cloud comp, you know, the teaching, the educating, the talks that were taking place. You know, it's something that's been long overdue at Expo. And, you know, somebody's finally had the decency to do it, finally had the balls to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and they did draw good crowds, man. They drew good activity. You know, when people were talking, there were people there listening. You know, I was there listening. You know, and
yeah, I mean,
like
a lot of people do it, especially on the B2B day, just almost go, right, well, at 1 o'clock, shuts down their stores for an hour and you'll come around and we have a fucking chat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got no option. Do you know what I mean?
it was good to see, man. It was actually good to see because, you know, let's face it, there's people that went to Expo that it was the first experience, and what an experience they had.
Yeah,
great time.
You know, they got to learn more about the industry over that weekend. You know what I mean?
Also, as well, I mean, this time as well at Expo is probably the only. Well, this is what, the 5th year. Oh, sorry, next year's 5-year anniversary.
I was going to say, come on, get it right.
There was. I've not seen any posts of any like trouble, like people getting beaten up or robbed, mugged, or anything like that this time. Whereas
I did. Nelson got mugged.
Oh,
Nelson got mugged.
I know that.
That was back pocket, man.
Rapid playing the game.
Compared to the last few expos where there was loads of posts from people saying they've had X, Y, and Z stolen, people coming up to the stands stealing shit right in front of people. Yes, we have had that this time as well. Compared to previous expos, the community has been a lot more, should we say, not as
dubious.
Thirsty. Yeah.
No, it was good. It was a good expo, man. I mean, I just want to go back and touch on that comment you highlighted, Rabbit.
Yeah,
Denise, was it Denise?
It too. When you get
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Denise, that's why that that hashtag I put up earlier is very important. If you get a chance to do your 15-second for vape video, make sure to post it on all your social medias with that hashtag so they can find it, because people that have been around a while, we need to hear your story. We need to hear, you know, what got you into vaping, what vaping did for you, and what vaping could do for other people. Like, that's super important. And I think that what they're doing with this documentary is very smart, because it's going to get, you know, just the regular vapors out there so people can see how it's helped so many others.
Yeah. I mean, not being funny. I mean, Denise Stewart, that's the sort of thing that, you know, I like hearing opinions of people that have been around, you know, a lot longer than I have. You know, I mean, like I says, I mean, my experience has been 4.5 years. Yeah, not always good, but I'm still here. You know, and that's not through any particular people's fault. I mean, some of that's been my own, where I've let myself be taken advantage of and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm interested in hearing what the old days were like. I want to see, if there's any pictures or anything that you can share, any videos, we want to see them. You know what I mean? We do. I do want to see them. I hear about, the expos over there, Rabbit, where cloud comping and stuff like that. Cloud comping was a job to some people, 3 or 4 cloud comps a week, and you travel to these comps. It seems so far long ago days, and we've got to think, it weren't that long ago that this stuff was being done. We need to look at where the changes were made and what brought the demise of that sort of thing down, because that's what we need now.
I've got old pics and videos. I'll try to find them and show you some of the old comps when it first started. Back when we were like drilling out RDAs because they didn't make big airflow, so we had to drill them out to get the airflow. Yeah, those were the good old days, man.
I've done that.
I mean, stovetop builds and all that.
Yeah, we used to,
25 hours in max.
we used to show up to comps. We used to show up to comps with like 3 or 4 guys on our team, and we'd have like matching T-shirts that said team whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd all sit there and hang out together with other teams and bullshit and have fun and talk shit to each other and then go up and blow clouds, man. It was definitely the good old days. It was a good time.
Which one were you? Were you one of the T-Birds or the Pink Ladies?
I was the Pink Lady.
You know what I mean?
Are you taking a piss?
I have to know these things, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, it's things like that. That's when community was community.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, everybody opening every Tom, Dick and Harry opening a fucking Facebook group has been the demise on some of that. Everybody wants to be vape famous. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes, preach. Jesus Christ.
But, you know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing. It's one thing doing all this and, doing our little bits and pieces, trying to make a difference, trying to have the biggest group, trying to do this. But it's that sort of thing that's caused the infighting and, has been the demise of a lot of what was the initial, like Rabbit says, drilling out an RDA because it wasn't suitable for what you wanted. You know what I mean? Nobody does that anymore. And, them are the days that we need to get back to. I want to learn more of the old school. I really do. I mean, not being funny. I mean, I've seen some of the old school mods, man. And they were works of art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, some geezers knocked up a wooden mod in the back of his shed. And it's fucking outstanding, man.
I had some beautiful wooden mods that were hand carved back in the day, single battery, mechanical, hand carved, and they were all the copper inside was hand pounded down flat so they can make it into a contacts. Like it was really cool back then.
But, that's what I mean. And it's like, I know that some people still do it, but them days need to come back, man.
Yeah, they do. People forget that this entire industry was built on community. Like, yes, there was vaping before the community aspect hit, but look at the rise since the community aspect hit. When the community aspect hit in 6 or so years ago, the fucking industry just blew up. I mean, we had a boom in 4 to 5 years. It was insanity. And people forget that. Like when we started doing the community aspect, when we started holding comps and we started meeting up at shops to have, meeting friends at shops, and we started all that, it changed drastically. It went from I'm vaping to get off cigarettes to now I'm vaping because I want to show my friend I got a dope ass new mod. I got to show him this great juice tastes good, or how hot this build is, or dope new batteries I found, or look at the holes I drilled out in this fucking tobe.
Yeah.
Now I can hit these massive clouds with this little 5, 10. Like that was the good old days.
Around 2 years since the last time I saw someone do a vape competition on Facebook just for the fun of it, just for the shits and giggles. I have not seen for quite some time vape competitions, cloud comps. It's like
I have. I mean, I've took part in a few. I've took part in a few online ones in that some groups have run, and to be fair, they've been bloody good comps. You know what I mean? It you know, you got the likes of, I can't remember what the name of the group was, but it was Carrie, Kaz, and Mitch. They did a great comp, and that was just for shits and giggles. I know there's been some on Two Girls One Vape. Endless have done them. And I've took part in a few of them.
Every time you say that
it'd
name,
be nice.
I blush.
The what?
Every time you say that name, I blush.
Which?
Two Girls One Vape.
Two Girls One Vape.
Yeah, mate, it's one of them. They've got great admin on there, and they've done great things. You know what I mean? It's one of them. I'm not really active in a lot of groups, but there's one or two that I will post into. There's a couple that I'm actually to do with. And it needs they need to come to the forefront, man. Jack Taylor is another fucking good admin. And he's doing his bit. There's more that can be done, but it's one of them. I hope it continues, man. It's going in the right direction, and I just hope that we can get some of the fun style back in.
I'd like to see Trix coming back into it as well. She used to get someone really talented.
Like 12 months ago.
They're still about. It's just a bit quieter than it used to be. But
yeah, I was going to say 12 months ago, everyone was chucking a trick, and then all of a sudden it died a death. But I think that's because of the interaction that they got within the groups. Some of them, I knew a few trickers, and they said to me, what's the point of me throwing tricks and taking the time to do it when I'm only getting 2 likes on a post? But that was, but like I said earlier, we had all these sales posts that were spamming the shit out of groups where people just fell off groups.
Yeah.
Now's the time to bring that back. Bring these trick builders back, bring all the trickers back, and start doing what we did. I love seeing somebody do a trick, man.
Zippy, I honestly believe that the downfall of all that was this whole misconception of vape famous. I think that I think people truly got it in their head that was a true type of fame or something. Like they really believed that was going to change their life or something. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I've been sponsored by some large fucking companies, and I've shot pics for them, and I was sponsored for a couple when I was comping, and I got to travel around with them, and that was nice and all. But never once did I have the misconception that I was vape famous. Every single person I met on those trips always said the same thing. Man, you act really down to earth. Yeah, because I'm a vapor. That's it. I don't want to be a fucking superstar. Like when you start getting that misconception that you're going to be a fucking superstar or that you're better than anyone else because you vape differently, like get the fuck out of here, man. We all vape the same shit. We all vape VG, PG, nicotine, or non-nicotine. Like, let's just keep it real. No, it doesn't make you better because you vape a different mod company and you get to wear their t-shirt that says team on it. Like that doesn't make you famous. Like we got to get back to humble vaping. We got to get back to where we all understand that we're all in this together as a family, as a unit. I think when we get back to that, we can start rebuilding the community aspect. We just, for somewhere along the way, we lost the word unity and community. Like it just fell out. Like we got to get that back. When we get back to the point to where we all believe in our hearts that we are the same, every one of us, I think that's going to be the change that we need. We have to keep it real, man. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's the facts. Like we have got to keep it real. We are all just vapors. Like that's just the facts. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, I know that seems kind of like simplifying it, but it's the facts. Like we are all just vapors. Some of us vape different mods than others, different juice. We use different coils, but it doesn't change the fact that we're in this because we vape. That's it. So you are a vapor, I'm a vapor, and everyone else, like, that's why we're here. We need to get back to that. If we can get back to that, we can start rebuilding, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, you got to remember some of these words that we use, community, unity, advocacy, family, stuff like that. A lot of these terms have been bandied around and have become that loose in meaning. That we've got to sort of re-establish that. Everybody that I know in the vape scene is true family. I spend longer with them sometimes than I do my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are people that I talk to every day. These are people that, are always there. You know what I mean? And that to me, I hate the term family being bandied around and brother and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
It's one of them. It's just words that have been. We need to re-establish these words and actually give them the meaning that they're supposed to have.
It's like they use it for clout, like to be. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know why they use it, but to me, that word means something. Like the way I grew up and what I've been through in my life. If I call you family, that's a badge of honor. That's because that means that I will truly be there for you if you ever need me for anything, and that's important to me. And I am, and Zippy, most of y'all know the vaping industry is my family. Like we have been through a lot together over these years, and yes, it's hard right now, but I don't believe that it's over. Like I really don't. I believe there's a change coming. I believe things are going to be different than they ever have been before. But I do believe that if we stick together and we stay together, that we can push through this and we can rebuild. But we can't lose sight of where it started. Like we can't lose sight of where we all came from. We have to stay fucking humble, and we have to focus on what's next and what we have to do to rebuild what they're trying to tear down. Yeah.
The thing is for me, right? Staying humble and everything else is something that we've all got to do. Our main focus should be, and priority is if we can educate one person, whether it be once a day, once a week, once a month, that's making a difference. And if each of us did that, say if all of us here now did that this week, every day, that's, 7 people each.
Yeah.
That's 35 people between us, if my maths is any good. But, that's 70 people in a fortnight's time. That's 140 people at the end of the month.
For the American viewers, what's a fortnight?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
No, it's not that game where you run around shooting people up.
Okay, I was just making sure.
But you know what I mean? It's like, that should be what we're meant to be doing.
Yes.
If you want to make a difference, if you want to be remembered, if you want people to know who you are, do that. Go and educate people. Don't do it for the tap on the back.
No.
Because that just takes any meaning away from it. Do it because A, you want to do it, and B, because you want to make a difference.
I've said this before. If you do anything positive and your only drive is for recognition, then you've already lost.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something positive, do it for the fact that you're doing something positive. Do it for the fact that the act alone should be enough. Like the fact that you're doing something for positive change should be enough. Do not go into it looking for a reward. Like that right there null and voids the whole process. Like we have you should just want to do it. Like we're human beings. Like we should want to do positive things for other human beings. That's the whole purpose. Like, we're all on this fucking rock together, man, and we have to stand together. We've got to stop destroying each other like that. We got to get rid of this fucking hate, man. Like, that's the worst part of all of it is the fucking hate.
Yeah. Hate's a strong word, man.
Now, my wife knows one of the biggest things to me is positivity breeds positivity. And it does, man. If you go into everything with a positive thought and positive focus and a positive mind, you will put off positive energy. And guess what? It's going to attract other people, and they're going to get that positive energy, and they're going to put it off, and it's going to spread. And the more you spread that positivity, the better things will get. You have to stay positive about things. Don't let the negative shit drag you down, because if it gets you down, I promise you, it will hold you there. Negativity is a motherfucker, man. Trust me, from somebody who deals with anxiety and fucking PTSD, negativity is a bitch. Do not let it drag you down. Stay positive.
You know what I mean? And, you know, that's about all we can say on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about as straight as it comes.
You know what I mean? It's, you know, let's hope the next couple of days bring good news. You know, there's some major stuff coming up this weekend with the rally and everything else. Feeds are going to be put onto the LXV page. I'll be sharing them on my personal wall and everywhere else that I can. You know what I mean? I'll be certainly lending my support, albeit through the lives and comments. But you know, it's something we all need to do. It's something we all need to do.
Yeah, if you can get there, be there. That's the place to be on this Saturday. And we're working on getting a live show from the event too. So we're working on that now. So hopefully we can get all the leaders so they can see what's going on.
Yeah. The thing is, man, don't preach it. Don't preach it. Teach it.
Teach it. Do it.
You know what I mean? Like I said last week, we can all walk the walk, man. But let's see if people, you know, actually doing what they say they can do and talk the talk.
Yeah. Don't just see about it. Be about it.
Yeah. So, who wants final word then? Because I'm guessing we're going to be wrapping this up. I think we've touched on everything that we need to.
Yeah, you wanna let Josh do it?
Yeah, man.
I don't want to do it.
No,
it's baptism of fire.
Yeah, you have to do it. Just tell everybody. All right. So Josh is going to do our final words tonight because he's our special guest. So y'all be nice.
Last minute substitute.
when we say he's our special guest, we don't mean like, you know, he's anything special. He is just special.
So, yeah,
you gonna have his final thought or what?
My final thought, as everyone's been saying in the chat tonight, and with us lot as well, you know, we've all got to keep on it. We've all got to be together, and we've honestly got to be together as well. And Rabbit said as well, let's just keep it humble and do the best we can and educate as much as we can, and that's really what everything's all about. And definitely do this. The 15 sec for vape video, will 100% do that. I'm going to I want to do one probably in the morning. And yeah, let's just keep on grinding, going as hard as we can. And that's about it.
Fair play, man.
Thank you, guys. We love all you leaguers, and we'll see y'all really, really soon. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
See you, man.
Ta-ra.